Okay. Hey everybody, what's up? It's Maria here again with you. If you can't tell, I'm still at my family's house, and I haven't moved into my apartment yet. I go tomorrow. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. But I just really wanted to make another video, so I thought I'd do one today since I have the time. So a couple people asked me about my favorite things. Like, one person specifically said, what are my favorite books? And then someone else asked just like, what are my general hobbies and interests and stuff. So I'm going to talk about a few of my favorite things. I just realized that was kind of a Sound of Music joke, unintentional. Anyways, but since I figured if I talk about my favorite stuff, it's probably going to be a pretty long video, so I'm splitting it into 2 parts, and the first part is just going to be me talking about my favorite books, and I'll probably do the second part tomorrow. I don't know, depends how much time I have after I actually move in. But yeah, anyways, so I was asked by someone what are my favorite books and why, and I was like, man, I've read so many books, like it's so hard to pick a favorite because they're all so different and stuff, so, but I narrowed it down to 3, kind of, 2 and then a series, so that's kind of cheating, but whatever. So my first favorite book is American Gods by Neil Gaiman, and I love this book so much. It's definitely one of my favorite books of all time. It's just amazing, and Neil Gaiman is one of my favorite writers just because of this book, and then this book led me to read some of his other stuff, and I just loved it so much, and now I am a little bit in love with Neil Gaiman. Anyway, that was really creepy. Hopefully he never sees this. But it's such an interesting book. So basically, I'll talk about the premise of it, I guess, and try not to give stuff away in case any of you guys want to read it after this. But basically, it's kind of realistic fantasy, I guess. It's not really a category of books, but whatever. It's set in modern for when it was written in like 1990 something. 2002. Okay, well, same thing. Late 90s, early 2000s. But modern America for then, so it's kind of older now. But then it also has a lot of fantasy aspects with like gods, obviously, and stuff. So it's a really interesting combination with that. And basically, it's about, the main character's name is Shadow. And basically it's about like he gets out of jail. He was in prison, and he gets out of jail. Like he finishes his 3 weeks or whatever it was. Pardon me, my Skype is going off. He finishes his his 3 weeks or whatever, and then on his way back home, he meets this mysterious man called Mr. Wednesday, who is like, hey, you want to come work for me and like be my partner and join me in doing various things and traveling around the country? And he's like, and Shadow's like, no, because he has no idea who this man is, and like it's just a random guy asking him if he wants a job on the plane ride to his home. So he's like, oh, that's kind of weird. No, maybe not. But Mr. Wednesday keeps like appearing wherever Shadow is and asks him the same offer, and Shadow finally takes it. And then he gets wrapped up into this whole big war between the new gods of America, like credit cards, cigarettes, media, kind of what Americans idolize, and so it's the new gods versus the kind of the old gods, like, which are kind of Americanized versions of old gods from, various places. They have old Russian gods, Nordic gods, Norse gods, various African gods. I don't remember off the top of my head the rest of them, but yeah. So it's like those gods, kind of came over with the people that believed in them when those people immigrated to the U.S. Sorry, to the U.S. And so those gods kind of followed them there because people still believed in them when they came over. But now it's like they're kind of fading because less people believe in them, and the new gods of American ideals and stuff are trying to, get rid of the older gods. So Shadow, has to help the old gods fight back against the new gods, and he gets just tangled up in this whole big ordeal. And so it's really interesting. It's really well written, and it's really fun to read. It's just a really great book. I love it so much. You should read it if you haven't. Sorry about that. Another one of my favorite books is The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. There we go. Sorry. I'm getting distracted by my books. Which, if you may have heard of the old Disney, I think, movie of it, that came out, I don't know, a long time ago. It's a pretty old movie, I think. But it's based, that movie, The Last Unicorn, is based off of this book. And that was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. I watched it over and over again. And so when I was older and I found out that it was based off of a book, I was like, I have to read that book. And I did, and it was incredible. And it seems like it would be, kind of childish, but it's actually much more of a young adult / adult book. Probably young adult, but it's not, if I had tried to read this when I was a younger kid, I probably wouldn't have been able to, because it's actually kind of difficult to read, if you're younger, so, but it shines a whole kind of new light on the old Disney movie version. There's a whole lot more to the story than they put in the Disney movie, obviously, because they're making it for kids. So it's really interesting to read kind of the original thing and see, the story more in depth. But yeah, so that's another one of my favorite books. And I don't want this video to be too long, so I'll talk about my last favorite set of books, and then we'll end it there, and I'll make a part 2 tomorrow probably. So I have a box set of the books, but I don't have it right now because I packed it up, so I can't get it out. But basically, one of my favorite series of all time is the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, which I got a very nice box set of new box, because we had them, but they were really, really old and falling apart, and we lost some of the books. And so for my birthday, since I love them so much, a couple years ago, my parents got me this really nice box set of them, of the series, which is coming with me to college, which is why it's packed up and I can't actually bring it out. But and it's just such a wonderful series, and the movies are good. I feel like I'm gonna get some backlash for saying this, probably not, but the movies are good, but they really don't do the books justice, in my opinion at least. There's just so much more that goes on, than they can show in the movies, and they change a lot of stuff and they leave out stuff so it can fit, and I understand that, because like if they did everything, the movies would be like 3 hours long. But just it's so, and the movies, they only did every like other book, but there's all these stories that go in between them that are like woven in to the bigger plot, and it's so fascinating to see how all these stories come together in the end. And the last book too is like incredible, and honestly made me cry the first time I read it. So yeah. But it's just such a wonderful series, and C.S. Lewis is just one of my favorite authors. I love those books so much. And yeah, I don't know. I guess they're like kids books, but they're still really good to read even when you're older, especially because I think reading them when you're older, or rereading them, you catch a lot of things that you probably wouldn't have caught the first time or when you were younger. So I don't know, I think it's interesting to reread books, or read kids books when you're older. Like, you kind of catch more things, I guess, that the authors put in there. But yeah, so anyways, so those are some of my favorite books. I could go on and on about books. I love books. I'm wearing a shirt about books right now. But this video is already getting kind of long. So I'm going to end it here, and I'll talk about the rest of my favorite stuff tomorrow in another probably kind of long video. But yeah, and you guys will get to see my new apartment tomorrow. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, subscribe and stuff. I don't know what I was going for there. And if you want to, you can also follow me on Tumblr or Twitter. I have a new Twitter now. And if you want me to talk about something specific, go ahead and leave it in the comments, or send me a message. Put it in, like, ask me on Tumblr, Twitter. Just get it to me somehow, and I will definitely talk about it at some point. So thanks for watching. Bye, guys.